In an exclusive glimpse into the life of Chidimma, fans get a rare look beyond the glitz and glamour. Behind the confident exterior, Chidimma opens up about her deep ties to family and her roots. Though she was born in South Africa, her heart has always been drawn back to Nigeria. And with 4 of her 5 siblings currently living in Nigeria, Chidimma feels a growing desire to reconnect with her heritage in a more meaningful way. One of her biggest goals? Learning Nigerian languages. Even though she is Igbo, she admits she's not yet fluent, but is eager to embrace the culture. "I've always wanted to learn the languages here," she reveals. Now, being in Nigeria feels like the perfect opportunity. Chidimma's journey isn't just about fame. It's about family, identity, and rediscovering where she truly belongs. This rising star is on a mission to bridge the gap between her South African upbringing and her Nigerian roots, all while keeping her close-knit family at the center of it all. Could this be the start of Chidimma's next chapter? Fans are eager to find out.
You will be overwhelmed.
I know, because I think a lot of the times people get a very different perception of who Chichi is, and I got this a lot of the times. People always tell me, "Oh no, you look so serious," and I'm like, "I'm actually the sweetest. Like, I'm a crybaby." You know. But my favorite meal is pasta. Anything creamy pasta, it's me.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, I don't think you're too serious. I saw that video with D'banj where you guys were dancing and Abike Dabir was there. You guys are having a ball, and of course, your personality showed during the pageant. So while you were growing up, you know, you grew up in South Africa.
Yes.
But you were in South Africa till you were in Nigeria till you were 3.
Yes. No, I was born in South Africa. Then I came to Nigeria when I was 3, and I stayed here for a couple of months, and then I went back to South Africa.
So what do you miss? Don't you miss South Africa sometimes? Like, do you feel like you miss your friends? You want them to like come over?
I do miss my friends. I do miss my lifestyle and everything. I think it really is a struggle at first for me because I'm trying to adapt. You know, they say it takes 21 days for you to
I think it takes a lot more, but okay.
But I really do miss my friends and especially my family. I haven't seen them actually since the withdrawal, so I miss them a lot.
I can imagine. Did you have a best friend?
Yes, I've got a lot. Okay,
Really?
not a lot, like 5.
Be careful.
Okay, I'm not naming them.
Good. They're going to say you better not say her. So you have 5, but you have a ton of friends. Obviously, you school there, so I imagine. So when you won, did you are you in touch with your friends? Are they cheering you on? Because sometimes people might just think you're some lady that's just drowned in all the social media noise. But it's good to know that you have a circle. So did you talk to them?
They have been my biggest support structure. I cannot lie. They supported me even when I was in the essay competition. They literally flew out to come and support me. They made t-shirts, they did every single thing. And it was sad, you know, that they weren't able to, you know, watch the show and support their friend like that. And when they found out I was coming to Nigeria, they were really working so hard to make their way here, but also because it was like short amount of time, so they were not able to come. So we were literally on video call every single moment, and they're really proud of me, and I'm so glad to have them as friends.
If there's one thing you wish the most that you could have in this very moment, what would that be?
My family.
Talk to me about that.
I think it has been a very tough journey for us, and we haven't been close. You know, we stay in Cape Town, but I was in Joburg because of the competition.
Okay.
And then now I came to Nigeria, so I haven't seen them in like a long time. So we just like keep in touch over the phone, but then I'm also very busy, so I don't really stay on my phone as often. And I think they are like my biggest support. Like, they fuel me, they motivate me. So them not being here is tough.
Now, do you have siblings?
Yes.
Ah, geez, how many of them? I have 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
What? Wait, you're kidding?
Yes, 5.
How many? So there's 6 of you?
Yes.
What number are you? I'm the 3rd.
I'm the 2nd.
Second borns are usually best friends with the 3rd.
Yeah.
Do you relate with that as well?
Yes. I mean, I love all of them. I mean, we haven't had a very tight relationship because 4 of them are here in Nigeria, and it's just 2 that's in South Africa.
You know, it's interesting because I feel like there's so much the world really doesn't know about you. Like, I would not even I met your sister today. I met your older sister today.
Yes.
I was looking at them like, I kind of see the resemblance there. So you had 4 of them here.
Yes.
But you would have never possibly did you ever in your life say, you know what, I'm probably going to move back to Nigeria to just reconnect with my relatives and just find out what this culture is really about?
I've always wanted to come to Nigeria. You can even ask my aunt, my family here in Nigeria. I'm always like, I really want to come home, even if it's for like a few months, you know, because I do study in South Africa, so it was really tough. But I haven't been here, and I don't know why, but I think we should all blame my dad, not me. We should blame my dad.
No, but now that you're here, okay, so we're not going to make this about a tribe. Let's just speak about Nigeria generally, because I know you have fans from every single tribe, you know, within Nigeria, and we have a lot. You know,
Yes.
We have like over 322 tribes, so there's a ton of them. But so far being here, what are you most excited about?
I'm really excited to learn the language. I don't know
The Igbo language?
Yes, all of them. Not all of it, but then I want to know a little bit more. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So I am Igbo, but then I don't know how to speak Igbo. Sorry. But I want to learn. I want to learn, and I'm not saying this now because a lot of people might feel like, oh no, she's only saying it now because of. And I'm like, no, like I've always wanted to, you know, especially in SA, like in Cape Town where I stay in specific, you know, it's Nigerian populated. So
Yeah.
there's like Nigerians everywhere. So I really felt like I was still in touch with my Nigerian heritage, but now I'm actually more in touch with it.
I feel like when you get deeper in it, you're also gonna your favorite meal is also going to change. I feel like your favorite meal is gonna be one of our like major soups.
Really?
Yeah. Have you not tried any since you've been here?
No, I've only had egusi and okra.
That's my favorite, you know.
That's my favorite as well. That's
Right?
why.
It's really good.
Yes.
No, I really love that for you. I feel like, you know, for a lot of people as well, social media can be. Do you remember when everyone was talking about like cancel culture and the Me Too movement? And then all of a sudden that became like a thing of like a phasing situation. Do you think with you as well, with time, people will just get to see you for who you really are? Because I'm sure you're on Twitter, right?
No.
You're not?
No.
That's healthy.
I had to delete Twitter because I felt like it was too much for me.
You know what? I can relate to that. There was this one time, like everyone was dragging me because at the Met Gala, I had an issue with Burna Boy, and then everyone was like insulting me on Twitter. But I couldn't delete my Twitter, so I understand what you're saying. That was really bold. Why did you delete it?
I think I'm a comment reader. Like I read
Oh,
each and every
no,
single comment.
you
That's
do?
the thing. So for me, it was the thing of like, in a day, I think I would spend 80% of my day actually reading the comments.
How did you, come on?
Yes.
No, were you like bawling your eyes out? Like,
literally, like, and I'd be like, why do you even say that? Like, you know, and I'd read, and it became very toxic for me.
I can relate to that, but you do Instagram.
Yes, I did mute my comment section for a time, and you know, some people were like, no, like, don't do that.
You know what I think? I feel like, first of all, never read the comments. I'm going to tell you that for free. Like, I had to stop.
It's easier said than done.
No, but you have to for your mental health. Do you know the kind of things people were telling me I have rat edges? Like, I was like, listen, the kind of insults I got, I was like, someone called me a husband snatcher, and they don't even know me. So that also tells you sometimes people would insult you without really knowing who you are. The insult, so never read the comments, that's one. And then two, I think you also have genuine fans who are scared. And that's why I talked about cancel culture earlier, and I'm going to explain it to you. You have fans who are telling themselves, they're watching this interview right now and they're saying, she seems so chill, but then they're afraid. They're like, oh, but I don't want to seem like I'm supporting them, so people don't judge me on social media. Do you relate to those category of people at all who are like, they don't really understand? Because again, I would always say this, social media is perception, and for some people, perception becomes reality. So when you see that category of people who are like, I don't know what to believe, I don't know what's really going on, what do you say to them?
I have seen that a lot, where a lot of people in the comment section are always like, I really like you, but then I just don't want to, you know, put my opinions out there. And it's valid, you know, it is valid, because I also feel like when people do support me, trust me, they're coming for you. So, and I don't want people to go through something like that because they're supporting me, do you understand? But then also, if you can relate, I feel like because a lot of people will be able to relate to my story and with me just in general, then they will be able to stand up for me and say, listen, we need to stop. Or just fight for me in general, because there's not a lot of times where I can actually stand up for myself, and I just like ignore everything.
So if you were like one of those people and you were standing up for yourself, what would you say? Like, what's one tweet you would put out standing up for yourself?
That
As
would,
not as you now,
Yeah.
as someone, say you're me, and
Yeah.
you're like, you know, I want to say something about what's going on. What would you tweet? What's one tweet you would put out?
The tweet I would put out is that we need to really educate ourselves a lot. I think this has really brought out a huge spark on diversity, culture, identity, and all of that. And I know most of the times people always say, no, she's always ignorant on the matter on ground. And I'm like, I'm not really ignorant on that matter. It's just that I don't want to talk on things that I'm not really sure of. And I would rather speak on the things that I know and things that I can educate people on. So I think I would really tweet that we need to educate ourselves more.
So now to something less intense. What have you been, I mean, in terms of like crushes and relationships, have you ever had like a relationship? Like while you were in SA, do you have someone there that you're like, that is probably thinking to himself, my baby has to come back to me sometime soon?
I'm sure.
I mean, now that you are Miss Universe, it's like, well, that's my babe. That's my girl. Do you have anyone like that? Because I'll tell you I'm asking after that, but tell me.
I mean, maybe.
Really? Like a boyfriend? No, I'm gonna tell you, because if you don't, I really just want to know. So now that you're in Nigeria, maybe you're like, are there things, is that something you're excited about? Like the possibility of meeting someone here, or if you have someone back in SA that you were looking at, the possibility of going back to them. What's that like for you?
I'm not really open yet to having a relationship, and I wanted to keep that a little bit private because I mean, I'm already facing one thing. I cannot face another thing.
You know what I think? I feel like drama is based, and this is my experience, there would always be a bigger story. You know, there would always be something bigger than this. So sometimes you need to give them something bigger to talk about. Have you ever thought about it that way before?
No.
Well, maybe you should. Give them something bigger to talk about. Like, oh, wait, you know what? Chidimma is like actually, so Nigerian artist, let's start from there. Who's your favorite?
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Girl, you must have one. And don't say D'banj because you were just dancing with him some days ago.
I mean, yeah. I do have a few favorites like Patoran King, Davido, who else? Rema. Who else? There's quite a few. I think you just put me on the spot. But
No. I don't know why people always think talking about your faves is being put on the spot. It's just who you like, and it's okay.
Not who I like.
No, not like you have a crush on.
Yeah.
Jeez, relax. Not who you have a crush on, like music that basically gets you in the mood. So Rama, what about in South Africa?
In South Africa, who am I listening to currently?
There's this lady, Juanita Lamos, Sofa Shilane. I don't know, she does like them piano vibes. I love her. What about the Jerusalem guys?
Oh yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it was a really big thing. I feel like South African music is really big in Nigeria and vice versa.
I've seen it.
Talk to me about that cross-pollination. Seeing as I live in Nigeria, I can tell you for a fact that we dig piano. Like, we're not, I mean, I don't know how to do the dances, but you know, I love the music. What's it like in SA?
I've seen it. In SA, I mean, we also listen to Afrobeats as well. And it's so weird because when I came to camp and I was listening to the music that they were playing, and it was like mostly piano, and I was like, what? And then when I'm in SA and I go around and like, you just cannot walk without hearing Afrobeat. And I'm like, this is actually really interesting. So both countries really love each other's music. So,
well, we never agree on Twitter.
I don't know why.
I know we never agree that we like each other's music, but we both individually listen to each other. And I think it still speaks to what you were just talking about, unity, diversity, like accepting each other. And I genuinely think that your story is one that I think is really going to start making us really ask ourselves a lot of questions about coming together. What is the basis for this division?
So I had this interview actually once, and then this lady was like asking me how do I feel about all of these things that's happening, and I was like, it's so weird how we're using the things that are not supposed to be barriers actually are barriers. So for instance, I would comment like, I'm proudly Nigerian and I'm proudly South African. And I would see on my comment section, a lot of people would laugh about it. And I'm like, what is really funny about it? Like, are we not supposed to be like appreciating one another and accepting one another? I mean, just because I have such a diverse background and you might not have that diverse background, that does not necessarily mean that we are so different from each other. And we should learn how to educate one another on how, even though someone might not be as diverse as what you are, we can still come together and we can still learn each other's cultures. We can still learn from one another and really come together and be in each other's space and appreciate one another.
You know, I mean, I feel like we should almost wrap this up. But I also think that apart from that, there's also the fact that a lot of people feel like a bit slighted. Like, how come she won? You know, how come she won? How come she won? She just showed up, and then she just came with her pretty hair, and then she just won. How did that happen? You know, talk to me about that.
I've seen those comments. I've seen them. A lot of people felt like it was a pity win, and I don't think it was
a promotional win.
Yeah, I don't think so. I feel like I really worked hard. Coming from the SA journey, we spent like 10 weeks camp. You know, going through the whole journey, it might have been a slight difference compared to everybody else. But I feel like if you have to look at the journey that we've all been through, I feel like I really had the same experience that they did.
Now, if you would, Chidimma, did you leave because of what she said happened privately, or because of home affairs? Which was it? Because I think people need to understand the distinction, because you know there are two issues if you think about it.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go into detail, but it's just contextualizing. There's the issue of Chidimma, who has her story and did this essay, and people got to find out that, oh wait, why is her name Chidimma? And I remember the first week the story came out, and I saw it and I was like, I'm not gonna talk about it because I'm not even like trying to get into this. And then the second week it was trending, and the third week I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna talk about it. And then you were pulling away, and it was because of the comments, right? The people attacking you because she's Nigerian, she shouldn't be here. She's not authentically, in quotes, South African. That's one issue. But then after that happened, then the home affairs situation pulled up. Now that is a separate issue. So there are people who are looking at you from this angle, which is where I think the conversation on identity and embracing people for who they are and not bridging this gap between your South African 30%, your Nigerian 2%. There's no need for that. You're all one. That is that part. But then the second part, you know, is another separate people who feel like, wait a minute, is she aware of this? Does she have any knowledge of this? Does she feel any kind of responsibility to this issue at all? And then people would say, well, it wasn't really her problem, really, if you think about it. So now knowing that there are two separate sectors of the situation, do you want to speak to the other in terms of responding to people who feel like there's so many, which again, like I said, you don't need to like, because I know it's a sensitive matter, it's in court and all of that, but are you aware of these two separate issues? And I genuinely think that they both have different responses. Mm-hmm. So you've responded to the first part, which is around you being South African, Nigerian, Mozambican, but then the second part, where there's like this huge question mark, like, what's really going on here? Did this happen? Did it not happen? What do you have to say to that?
So I think I really avoided the questions, like I said, because it is a legal matter and I do not have all the facts around the matter. But what I can say is that I was not running away from any of that. I was just running because I knew I had a dream that I wanted to fulfill.
And you just did.
Yes.
You just answered that.
But I am aware of the matter. I'm not like fully aware of everything that's going on. Like I told you, I'm not on social media right now and I'm avoiding all of those things. But what I can speak on is that I know I did not steal anyone's identity. I'm still waiting, obviously, for the whole conclusion. Of
course you did it.
I'm just waiting on the conclusion on the whole case and the whole matter. And then moving forward, I'll know exactly what to say. Because I feel like now, if I say something and then something comes out tomorrow, it could be like, okay, but you said this and then something else. Do you understand? Like I'm just avoiding all those, two things contradicting one another. So.
Well, I think that was an important clarification because now it's good to know she wasn't running away from this place because that, again, it's very important for those two. Now, moving on, Chidimma. November, Mexico. It's a very competitive time because now we're going to have to share screens between you and the US presidential elections because they're also happening in November. But I feel like that's going to be a really, really tough stage because now you're not competing amongst peers. You're competing amongst global, Miss Universes, like Miss Universe for each respective country. So what are you going into that stage with? What are you going into that competition with?
So I think I have a lot of time. Okay, not really a lot of time, but I've seen the criticism, well, the nice criticism, where people are always telling me, listen, these are the things that you need to work on. And I feel like it's really a good thing that I get this criticism from people on the outside, because at the end of the day, they are the ones that's watching me, and I only want to provide the best, you know, not only for myself, but for the country as well. So I have to work on things like my walk, my presence, you know, how I'm going to present the country really well on that stage. So I'm just like trying to gather up everything together. I am not feeling well currently,
You said
and I'm just like taking some time back. And as soon as I recover mentally, emotionally, trust me, I'm coming with a big bang.
I feel like you're gonna get so many people reaching out to you like, oh, Chidimma, let's make your dress, let's do your hair, let's do this. Have you started getting any one of those kind
I
of
haven't really checked my
Oh, you should.
Instagram.
I'm sure you have gotten a lot of people say that to you. Now, before I let you go, Chidimma, I'm sure you've made a lot of friends from the competition, and I'm sure a lot of them are watching you right now. And if you were going to say anything to the organizers and these women that you built strong bonds of friendship with while you were there, what would you say to them?
Firstly, I want to say thank you so much to the Silverbird Group. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been here. If they didn't see that potential, I wouldn't have been here. So thank you for that invitation. To the ladies as well, like I said before, maybe some of them might be thinking that, oh my God, she came here and she just stole the crowd, which is understandable. But I won't lie to you, ever since I reached the camp, these girls have been so supportive towards me. They literally carried me through this whole journey, and I would just want to say I love each and every one of you. Thank you for accepting me. Thank you for being part of this journey as well, and I love each and every one of you.
Oh, Chidimma, this was a great conversation. I feel like if not anything, at least now we know you like Rema. We know